Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Sean Easton says, I kind of wish the mods could make polls. No! You know what a disaster that would be? Oh my god, the trouble that would lead to. Yeah, it would lead to a lot of trouble. Loud Waffle says, nice glasses, nerd. So right now, I have contact lenses, but I'm waiting on a new batch that I've ordered. Wait, let me tell you guys something kind of crazy before we get into the other stuff, alright? Let me tell you guys something kind of crazy. Left ear? God damn it. Okay, hold on. I know the fix for this. I've been told the fix for this. I'm pretty sure I know what to do. Okay, we go to properties. It's something about this. I think I fixed it. Okay. Pretty sure I fixed it. I think we're good. Right? Okay. So, Paul Mao, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 5 months. Haven't heard from you in a minute. The man, the myth, the legend himself. Hey, Morj, nice glasses. Thank you, I appreciate it. So, here's the situation. Yeah, fixed, good job. Yeah, see, I can learn things. It just takes me a while. It takes me a good while. Repetition. When it comes to technology things. Because, like, here's the deal. The brain only has so much room for information, right? So for me, technology is the lowest level of importance when it comes to information, all right? Because I'm like, once it's fixed, who cares how it works, right? So anytime a problem comes up technology-wise, like the audio's not working, my focus in the moment is to just fix it once. I'm not trying to learn anything. So it's like people tell me, okay, do this. I press the buttons people tell me to do till eventually it's fixed. Then I'm like, cool, we're done with that forever. Never have to deal with that again. And then I move on. And then it's gone from my brain, whatever the solution was, right? So, but then what do you know? Life's not that easy, so at some point you'll need that information again. And, yeah, so then the technology problem comes up again, and then I have to deal with it again. I'm just like, but it happens enough times that eventually, just through subconscious learning, I pick up on what's going on, right? So this time I was able to easily fix the audio situation. Outback Pandas, thank you very much. I feel, you're still, thank you for the huge donations. I can tell you are still repenting for the, for the one moment that you unsubbed from me because you thought I was doing an AI art stream. I very much appreciate it, but all is forgiven and much more, right? We all know in our hearts Hunter x Hunter top 1, hashtag Tagashi tip writer, hashtag Hunter times Humper. All right. I guess we got to vote it right to the top because the Outback Panda said so. I'll explain to you guys how the stream situation works in a second. First, I have to get my shit off about the glasses situation, okay? So, okay, so I'm waiting on a new order of contact lenses, right? I could wear my old contact lenses, but I don't like taking it too much further than you're supposed to in terms of like expiration dates and stuff like that. So I could, there's no harm in it, whatever, but I feel like wearing glasses right now, okay? I'm waiting for my new order of contact lenses. They're being shipped all the way from Britain, and it's taking a while. Why are they being shipped from Britain? Because in America, you can't order contact lenses or glasses. I don't know about glasses. You can't order contact lenses unless a doctor gives you a prescription for them. Even if I fucking know what my prescription is. So, basically, you have to have a prescription from a doctor that's 1 year old. Like, it has to be within 1 year of recency, okay? My eyesight stopped getting worse a long time back. I've had the same prescription for years, so I stopped going to the eye doctor, right? Unfortunately, that means that I'm not allowed to order contact lenses anymore because the way the fucking stupid-ass American system works is they want you to keep going back to the eye doctor for no reason, so that only the eye doctor is allowed to give you prescription. Like, only the eye doctor is allowed to be your sort of gatekeeper person for getting contact lenses. Even if you've had the same eyesight for years and years and years, you've still got to go to them and ask them, hey, so nothing's fucking changed. Am I allowed to order my contact lenses now? Yes. Britain is nice and not stupid, I suppose. The rest of the world is not stupid and doesn't work with this shitty-ass system because you can just order contact lenses like a normal fucking person. So I have to go fucking order, and I've been doing this, by the way, for 2 years now. This is the first time that they've had a late shipment. I've just been ordering contact lenses and stuff from Britain. That's a tip. If your eyesight prescription and stuff is fine and not really changing, stop going to the stupid-ass eye doctor, all right? You don't owe them anything. You can just order your shit yourself like an adult, right? An independent person who knows what your prescription is, right? You shouldn't have to keep updating it every year to be like, oh, look at that. This has been the same for 3 fucking years straight, right? Just order it from Britain. That being said, it is 2 months late for the first time ever, so keep that in mind. All right. Where are we at? Red Ryujin, welcome to the Yonko. Thank you. Appreciate it. Oop. Opopo says, I really enjoyed your JoJo vid. Made me view the series in a different way and made me hate it even more now. Keep it up. That was not the goal. That was not the goal. I'm really excited for JoJo Lands. JoJo Lands is, I think, maybe my favorite first chapter of any of these JoJo parts ever. I'm really excited for JoJo Lands. I really do mean it. Some people were like, I don't think JoJo's gets better with every part. Part 8 isn't better than the other parts and stuff. Part 8 sucks. I'm like, I specifically said towards the beginning of the video, I'm not saying they each get better with every part. I'm saying that they're all adding something new that the previous parts didn't have. So that cumulatively, over the course of it, it is generally heading in an upwards direction in writing, in my opinion. And I think I used the word in my opinion very frequently throughout the video, and then people got mad about it. But for the most part, you know, yeah, for the most part, I think that most people understood that it's, you know, a video more so just talking about how the writing kind of evolved and became a lot better, and we've got a much better series at this point than we did towards the beginning of the series, you know? Diaclea says, is the JoJo video spoiler free? I've only watched the anime, so should I watch the video or read the manga first? BTW, how's your cough? Thank you for asking about the cough, and thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 2 months. So, the JoJo video, I announce when the spoilers are going to start for Part 7 and Part 8. There are images that pop up earlier on about Part 7, like just manga panels and stuff, but they don't really like, they're images basically. So I guess in that sense it's a spoiler, but I don't talk about really what's happening plot-wise or anything like that with it. I announce, and the video has chapter marks, so you can see basically, I think around the 18-minute mark is when Part 7 and onwards discussion comes. So at the start of it, I say spoilers from here on for anime watchers, and then I start talking about those ones. So it's up to you. You make the call. You will see a couple images from Part 7, and maybe from Part 8. Just mixed in as B-roll, basically. How's my cough? My cough is slowly getting better. Slowly getting better. Thanks. Sean Easton says, get glasses/contacts from Costco, cheap and quick. But do I need a 1-year recent prescription from a doctor? Do I? Random person says, just go to the eye doctor. I don't want to go to the eye doctor. Why? What? I probably should, but I don't want to, you know? And it's kind of like they make you, you got to go through a whole thing. You got to sign up. You got to go to the waiting room and stuff like that. It's just a whole thing. Then, your insurance stuff and all that stuff. It's just a pain. Booga says, bro, we don't care for real. Yes, you do. I know some of you do. All right, let's get the stream likes to 100. Let's get the stream likes to 100. Polmau, thank you for gifting 10 Morj memberships to random people. They don't deserve it. They didn't care about my glasses. They definitely don't deserve this. But thank you very much. I appreciate it. Samya Goel says, hey Morj, saw your last stream. Here's addressing your Detective Conan concerns. Conan is not a kid detective. He's an adult turned into a kid by a drug by the Black Organization. He still has the mind of an adult. Yeah, my question was just like, why does he need to be why can't he just be an adult detective then, right? Like Hercule Poirot, my favorite detective. But people explain that there's some logical in-story reasons why the plot works better that way. Yeah, everyone say thank you, Polmau. Everyone say thank you, Polmau. Maybe I didn't say thank you, Polmau, enough. Everybody say thank you, Polmau. Including myself. Thank you, man. Appreciate it a lot. Wade Turner says, Morj, are you afraid of the doctor? I'm afraid of wasting my time. That's the biggest thing. I fucking hate I hate having to do tedious things that are kind of stupid and pointless and just, you just kind of got to do them to check them off, you know what I mean? Because it's just mandatory for no reason. It's just a waste of time. Samaya Goel says, 2, Black Organization are the main villains like World Government and One Piece. Gotcha. They show from time to time, but format is segmented into individual cases like mini islands in One Piece. I do like that. That is interesting. You know what? We're going to throw... Okay, let me give you guys an idea of how... Morj was meant to say love, not hate. What? What are you talking about? Okay. People are saying I don't care about the detective manga. Well, it's probably going in this rankings discussion, so we're gonna talk about it. All right. Here's the thing. All right. I am not interested in ranking what the greatest manga of all time is for you guys. I want you guys to rank what the greatest manga of all time is. So the way it's going to work is we're going to throw everything into... First, we're going to get a bunch of suggestions from you guys, right? We're going to fill out a bracket. I'll kind of eyeball how many things are going to go into the bracket. I'm thinking 16 at the moment. Maybe we stretch it to 32. Sorry, I still got a bit of a cough. That'll probably stay for a little bit. Yeah. 32. 16 to 32. All right? Papa Doc Suckers says, Morj, this is a terrible stream idea. Hear it out. You have to hear the whole thing. All right? So, we're going to set it up like that. All right? We're going to set it up like that. 16 to 32. And I'm going to pretend that I have no bias in here, right? I will probably have some bias, but you'll see. All right? We're going to set it up. All right? We're going to throw it all into a tournament. And then we're going to vote. But the way it's going to go, right? The way it's going to go is... the vote, if it's like an 80-20 vote or 70-30 vote or something like that, I'll just give it to one. But anything that's somewhat close, so 65-35, 60-40, okay, then I'm going to look at arguments from chat. That's the interesting part, in my opinion, right? Because you guys lots of times type long-winded messages and stuff like that to get your thoughts off. I'm going to look at arguments from chat as to why one series should be better than the other. And I'm going to try and base the victor purely on... right, so basically think about it like this. It's like the way Congress works, right? So at first it works with voting, right? If the voting is not skewed enough, then it goes to the president. I'm the president, all right? So I'm gonna listen to arguments for one versus the other. Let's say the series we're talking about is Naruto versus Bleach, okay? I'm gonna take myself out of it. I'm gonna judge purely based on what I think the strength of the arguments are, right? So whoever is saying a more structured argument, right? So I can think, let's say hypothetically, I think Naruto is better than Bleach. But let's say the person arguing for Naruto, or the people arguing for Naruto, put lots of stupid comments like Ichigo is a dumb MC or something like that, blah blah blah. Whereas the Bleach fans put something more thoughtful together or something like that, like Bleach has more creative, whatever reason you guys are gonna come up with, right? Like whoever is basically more articulate and structured. Whatever side I feel is more articulate and structured in their arguments, that is the side that will move along. And I'll take my own opinion out of it. So even if I personally think that Naruto is better, if I see the Bleach side making more better arguments, I'm not going to oppose those, right? I will say whoever side makes the better arguments, that's what moves along, right? At the end of the day, you will see some Morj bias because it's just going to be unavoidable, right? What if both sides put up a very good argument? I'm probably just going to be a little leaning towards whatever's better. But we'll see how it goes. Experimental stream, all right? Let's move along with it. Hawkins says, even though JoJo's is a lot of people's top 10, I would say it's not the best written series compared to others. What do you think makes it special despite that? Potential analysis on that, maybe. I think the very simple thing that makes JoJo's special compared to a lot of others is basically the thing that it had from the very beginning of the series. And I talk about that in my video. I should link that video. For those of you who kind of want to see my general thoughts on, other series, manga Morj stuff, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, etc. I think what it had from the very get-go is what made JoJo's special in the first place and has stuck with it. And it's over time added other stuff that you would more traditionally expect series to have. Does that make sense? And what it had from the beginning was a very unique style. I don't think that there's any style that has, any series that has quite the same style that JoJo's has. And it is a very, very, it's self-descriptive. It's self-descriptive. It's, what do you call? Yeah, there's a bias as a One Piece YouTube channel. It's bizarre, right? The style is bizarre. But it is also very, at the end of the day, it's very unashamedly imaginative, right? It'll think of the most ridiculous, strange scenarios, play it off as though it's the most normal plot development or scene or type of fight possible. It'll come up with some weird physics that make no sense as explanations for how a fight is won. It'll come up with weird abilities and names and character designs and just have the most absurd style of dialogue where characters basically talk in ways that no human beings would actually talk like, but it's just weirdly addicting to listen to if you kind of start to vibe with it. Ultimately, at the end of the day, JoJo's has a style that's very, very unique, right? And it's the series is fun to watch develop because it's like the writer Araki just slowly starts incorporating things that other series would normally have from the get-go, right? Like a real narrative structure, right? Which at the end of the day, I'd say JoJo still only barely kind of follows, right? Part 8 in particular, it kind of follows a real narrative structure. Part 7 moved forward in that, but then part 8 kind of was like, fuck it, we don't need that much. It like kind of did, but then didn't and stuff. It's just, it's interesting, right? So you kind of got to just enjoy it for its own thing, which also makes it harder for, like, diehard JoJo fans will put it up against anything because they love the style so much, and they take everything else on top of that as gravy. And then other people are just like, this is just a weird series, guys. Bingle the Oop, thanks for being a Yonko tier member for 5 months. I think the appeal of Conan being a child narratively is that it's a massive hurdle to overcome. In being taken seriously just adds more tension. Okay, I could see that. Ice Cream Gomes says JoJo's is funny. I would never even put JoJo's as one of the funnier series. It's like, it's a series that you can kind of internally laugh at a little bit, but it doesn't really have... The gags are kind of almost not... because it blurs the line between at what point are we supposed to view this as a joke versus at what point is this kind of just a strange sort of idea that he's presenting to us, right? So when he says some weird character name or weird stand ability, but it's played for seriousness, right? JoJo's doesn't actually have a lot of gags compared to, I think, the average shonen. It's just like either you could take the whole thing as one giant gag, or you take it as actually a series that's just you can laugh at internally to yourself at the strange stuff that's going on, right? So Maya Goel says, one last Detective Conan anime has easily skippable fillers like Naruto, cuts down the length quite a bit. Okay, I would probably read it if I was ever going to do it, so I'm not as interested in the anime, but whatever. Okay. What else can I do to clarify? What am I supposed to be clarifying? Yeah, this is going to be manga, not anime, alright? And I guess at the end of the day, One Piece is just going to win. So I guess, should I just take One Piece out of the running because this is a One Piece channel, right? Brandon King says Gintama greater than JoJo's in terms of humor. Again, I think most series are funnier than JoJo's. Like, I think even series that I don't think are that funny are funnier than JoJo's. JoJo's doesn't have as much... It doesn't set up jokes as much as I think as other series. The jokes are basically self-evident things that are just... Either you think they're obviously funny. I obviously think this character's design is really funny, or I obviously think this way this character talks is funny. But it doesn't draw attention to try and set up a joke as much as a lot of other series. Wait, we're banning One Piece? Okay. No One Piece. One Piece is out of the picture. The bias for it is too strong. Yeah. Okay, no One Piece. So, if we're not doing any One Piece... Yeah. I'm not going to do One Piece. That's not to say JoJo's doesn't have jokes. It does have jokes, right? Yeah, Hawkins says JoJo's is just the most memeable. Being the most memeable is very different from having intentional jokes. Anuj Agrawal, thanks for being a member for 5 months. Take One Piece out and have it face the winner. I guess I could do that, sure. I could do that. I think it'll win no matter what. Eugene Tan says JoJo's is unintentionally funny. We never know, though. We never know how intentional it is when Araki, like... I'm sure Araki knows when he's doing something somewhat funny, but he's not... It's hard to tell how much intentionally he thinks it's like, this is supposed to be something that the audience is supposed to be laughing at, not taking seriously, versus, I think this is really strange, but I think they'll like it and it'll be cool if I present it seriously. I don't know. Okay. I'm not separating things into parts. So, Joy Boy is saying Steel Ball Run. I'm not separating things into parts. It's just going to be, JoJo's will be its own thing. Why are we talking so much about this specifically? All right. Okay. So, we're going to take some recommendations right now. Wait, let me pull up the tournament maker thing. Let me pull that up. So you guys understand what we're working with. You guys got to know. Caleb Brown says, I'm excited for more to catch up on Kingdom. I am too. It's just, there's only so much time to do things. Like, this last week was incredibly packed with just random life stuff that was going on. And then after that, it was like, the weekend I just didn't get that much time. And, I did play some Dark Souls. It's kind of like you gotta pick and choose what you want to do, right? At the end of the day. So I felt like playing a game. Should I have watched or read something instead? Perhaps. Tony America says Shonen and Seinen brackets? Nah. Let's just throw it all together. Here's the reality. Diaklia says, please seed the favorites correctly. I'm actually going to hit random on the seeding thing. Sorry, that's just, it's going to get too difficult to seed things. The easiest way you could do it is be like, okay, maybe I go to my anime list or something like that to seed things. But in general, I don't like, I don't know. Then that goes down the rabbit hole of like, well, why is my anime list the right thing? What about this other site that rates things? It's like, I don't know. At the end of the day, my anime list is like, it's like IMDb, right? So you can only put so much stock in it. It doesn't mean that much on its own. Okay, is the audio still good? Yep. All right, so let's see. What are we gonna call this? Greatest manga? Greatest manga bracket. Bracket type single elimination. Manga. All right. So then after this, we're just gonna come up with stuff. We're gonna go with, I think, 16. Can we just start? We're starting. All right. So we'll start by accepting things, right? So right off the bat, I'm seeing Vagabond seed based on sales. Ooh, I don't know about that. So here's the reality, right? This is greatest manga of all time. I'm asking a lot of people who are primarily One Piece fans. I imagine that we're gonna be not hitting a lot of the quote unquote actually phenomenal manga that are out there that, you know, because I just think that the audience that I've got and the audience in general online that talks about manga a lot is naturally going to be more skewed towards people that like manga that involve people hitting people, right? People with powers hitting other people with powers. That's just naturally going to be the general trend you're going to see, right? Or sports or stuff like that, right? That's just the natural trend. So I'm sure that there's all sorts of things that aren't like action, sci-fi, that sort of thing, action, sci-fi, sports, stuff like that are phenomenal. They're just not going to make it onto this list because not enough if you're going to throw it out, right? So the stuff we're getting is like One Punch Man, Chainsaw Man, Blue Lock, the soccer thing, Dragon Ball, Vinland Saga, stuff like that. Vinland Saga does one arc that has basically no action and actually still has some action, right? The farm arc, and people say that that's where it fell off. That's actually its best arc, but that gives you kind of an idea of, just the type of manga that this is going to skew towards. So let me just start throwing things in, and we're going to shuffle the seeds, so the order doesn't matter, right? We're going to hit shuffle. So I'm seeing Kingdom. I'm seeing One Punch Man. I'm seeing 20th Century Boys. I'm seeing Record or Ragnarok. I don't know. Hunter x Hunter, I'm obviously going to put that in. Oh, the bias is already coming in. Death Note. Is that a manga? Oh, that's a manga. Sorry. Is that manga kind of, Okay, I'll keep it. 20th Century Boys is already there. I think we got to throw in Dragon Ball just because it's Dragon Ball, but I don't know how seriously people will take it. Someone said Tintin. Do you guys know that I own every single Tintin? I own every single Tintin except there's one that I don't own. When I say I own, my dad owns, and he gave a lot of those to me. My love for manga and anime, I think my love for comics in general, it's not manga, it's not even DC and Superman, that type stuff. It's actually starting with Tintin and Asterix to a degree. Oh, also Amar Chitrakatha, but that's like some Indian stuff. You guys don't know what that is. Okay, let's see. I'm seeing a lot of people saying Mob Psycho. I'll throw in Mob Psycho. A lot of people are saying Blue Lock. I think I have to put it in. Chainsaw Man. Indians know what it is. Berserk. Vinland. Did I not put Vinland yet? Seeing some people say Monster. At least one person saying Monster. I'll put Naruto in. Okay, I'm seeing enough for Jujutsu Kaisen. I'll put Jujutsu Kaisen in. I'm seeing some Oyasumi Punpun, right? Good night, Punpun. Shit, this is a lot. This is difficult. Okay. Seeing some Gintama. There's too many. Okay, Gintama. Maybe we might go over 16. All right. Alright, I'll throw in Bleach. I'm seeing enough stuff for Bleach. I'm not putting in Baki. You guys can't get me with that. I've seen Baki. Vagabond. Haikyuu. I already got Dragon Ball in there. I need to see multiples of things. If I see multiples of things, I'll put it in. Alright, it can't just be one person spamming it over and over. We got... I guess I'll put an Attack on Titan. Oh, JoJo. We talked about it for like 20 minutes. It didn't make it. We're leaving One Piece off the list. One Piece is staying off the list. Made in Abyss. Ratatouille. I could throw an Undead Unluck. It'll probably just die right away. I don't know if that series is read by people at all. I'm seeing some stuff for Dore Hetero. Don't know if I spelled this right. Slam Dunk. I'm seeing Gantz a few times. I can't tell if it's just the same person saying it over. I'm gonna throw in Gantz. I think I've seen enough Ippo. I'll throw in Ippo. I think I'm seeing Demon Slayer. Okay, we're getting... Alright, we get 4 more. No, 5 more. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Alright. So 32. Gotta pick very carefully now. Full Metal I'll throw in. Alright, we get 4 more. I'm not putting in Baki. I'll throw in Kaguya because I know that there's a lot of Kaguya fans in this chat. What is GTO? Fine. What's GTO? I'm looking that up. Oh, Great Teacher Onizuka. Okay. Let's say Onizuka then, so that people can recognize what it is. Or I'll say Great Teacher. Alright, we get 2 more. 2 more. This is tight. Alright. This is really difficult. Tokyo Ghoul. Alright. Last one. What makes it? Berserk is there, I promise. Right? Yeah, it's in there. Dragon Ball is already there. Dragon Ball is there. Seeing World Trigger. Seeing Fire Punch. I'm seeing Toriko. Okay, we'll do a poll right now for the most popular things I'm still seeing. I'm seeing Toriko. Might just be Toriko. Toriko, World Trigger. I think I already threw Naruto in there, right? Yeah. Okay, I'll do Toriko, World Trigger, My Hero. How about that? Yeah, let's just do this. Okay. Last submission. Alright. Toriko. World Trigger. I'm seeing enough My Heroes. We've already got Vinland. I should include Monster, right? I think I'm supposed to. Although you guys didn't really say Monster, so it's on you guys. Here, I'll throw in Monster. Just because it's one of those that people talk about enough that you figure it should be in there, right? Alright, guys, vote. Daniel Fine says, so we're just adding fodder now, huh? Look, I gotta round out the bracket, right? It's gotta get to 32. feel bad because World Trigger and Toriko were the ones that were being talked about the most. But then when I threw it into a poll, My Hero and Monster are just winning. A Monster's already there? Is Monster's already there? My bad. Alright, let's do the poll again. Alright. Let's do a double check, right? Are there any duplicates? Anyone see any duplicates? If you see a duplicate, call it out. See something, say something, right? I don't see any duplicates. I think that the list is pretty much perfect. Do I put Vinland twice? Maybe I put Vinland twice. Nope. Do I put JoJo's twice? Nope. Okay, one last poll. Alright. Rurouni Kenshin, your audience are 2. Mohamed Sadegi says, seriously, no Rurouni Kenshin. I can't even pronounce the name. Your audience are 2. I'm sorry, there's no Rurouni Kenshin. Just wait for the anime to come out, right? There's an anime coming out. Remix King says, paying for Pokemon Adventures to swap for My Hero Academia. You gotta pay for more than that. Okay, fine. I'll throw in Yu Yu Hakusho. Alright, we're gonna do it one more time. We're gonna do World Trigger, Toriko, My Hero, and Yu Yu Hakusho. Alright, we're not doing another poll after this. Except for all of the polls that we're about to do. Alright. Last submission. Alright. Oh, shit. Alright. Yu Yu Hakusho takes a clean majority there. Alright, easy stuff. Yu Yu Hakusho it is. And I know I end the polls kind of early, but it's just the way it is. Alright. Okay. So. Here's our bracket. Wait, I can, Okay. Let's take a look at the bracket. Alright. So we got Full Metal Alchemist, Kaguya-sama, Gintama, Jujutsu Kaisen, Blue Lock, God knows what it's doing here, Vagabond, Mob Psycho 100, 20th Century Boys, Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, One Punch Man, Vinland Saga, Monster, Dragon Ball, Slam Dunk, Death Note, Gantz, Undead Unluck, Naruto, Dorohedoro, Hunter x Hunter, JoJo's Bizarre Adventures, Bleach, Kingdom, Hajime no Ippo, Tokyo Ghoul, Made in Abyss, Haikyuu, Chainsaw Man, Berserk, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Great Teacher Onizuka. I don't think it's that bad. I think it's okay. Yeah, the order is randomized. Don't worry about it. All right. I'm going to hit start the tournament. All right. Does this mean I can start doing things? Uh-oh. Can I not fill out the bracket? Okay. Oh, I see. All right. I remember how we do this. Jolly D Joestar says, JoJo vid, the weakest on your Manga Morj channel. Well, the JoJo vid isn't really an analysis video. It's more so a discussion topic that I wanted to do before JoJo lands. And, I think it's a fun one. I think if I'm talking about the 3 videos that are up there, the Chainsaw Man is obviously the largest, most in-depth, and I think, easily the best analysis. I'm saying straight, I think that's the best Chainsaw Man analysis that there is out there. And you can watch the video and decide for yourself, but it looks like a lot of people that watch that video seem to agree with that, because really there isn't good Chainsaw Man analysis out there, period. So, I think that one's easily the best video I have out there. The Hunter x Hunter video is, early analysis of the Succession War, but the Succession War is like probably 25% done, if that, maybe 30%. So it's very early goings in the arc. So it's more so like an early stab at the ideas of the arc. So it can't be anywhere near as comprehensive as Chainsaw Man, right? So I think the Hunter x Hunter video is a solid video, but it can't be anywhere near as comprehensive because the arc's not fully finished yet, right? But I didn't see anybody really having any videos out there that are actually breaking down the ideas of what at least is going on so far with the Succession War, so I still thought it's a good video for now, right? JoJo's, it's not an analysis video, right? It's not really breaking down the themes or ideas or the character arcs, etc. of, at least in depth of any of the JoJo's parts. It's more so just to look at something more fun and interesting, which I always thought about is just like, how does this series feel so different now than it was at its beginning, and why do I feel like it's so much better now or has it become better over time than it was at the beginning? Why do I feel like everything keeps evolving with this series over and over again, right? So it's a breakdown of that, but it's not as in depth. It's more so just an interesting topic, right? There are JoJo's videos that I want to do that are more focused analysis videos, but for the moment, this was just something fun to do while JoJo Lands is coming out, and I think it's a good video still. Remix King says, how much for Pokemon Adventures to fight Blue Lock for a spot? It's just, the bracket's done, man. I hit start tournament. It's happening. I don't even know what Pokemon Adventures is. It's a video game? It's a video game? Alright. Alright. Yeah, let's go. Alright. So, here's how the bracket is going to work from here on out, alright? Here's how it's going to work. We're going to do things based on a simple poll. If the poll is like a slaughter, then we'll move along, right? Anything that's close, I'm going to read arguments from chat, right? When I say I'm going to read arguments from chat, if you're just spamming Full Metal Alchemist or you're just spamming Kaguya better or something like that, I'm not taking that into consideration. I'm going to be looking out for the most well-thought arguments from chat, reading those, and then whoever I think makes the best argument over the course of, I don't know, a couple minutes or so, I'm going to roll with that, right? So if you've got some strong defense for your favorite series, type it up in a notepad or some shit right now, all right? Because it will be needed. That's how we're going to do it. Kaguya easily. Okay, let's put the poll in first, and we'll see how it goes, right? So some of these are just going to be stomps based on the way the polls work, right? Again, I'm not going to listen to arguments for things that are close, or for things that are huge gaps in votes, but anything that's close. I'm told that my Discord is a big fan of Kaguya-sama, so I guess take that into consideration. Morj is pronouncing Kaguya wrong. See if Full Metal Alchemist stomps that pretty much. I will listen. Okay, if anyone's got a really, just for my own interest, if someone's got a really, it's not close. If someone's got a really good write-up for why Kaguya-sama is good, put it down right now. So Drusser says Kaguya-sama's greatness is built on brilliant character writing, extraordinary plotting that creates constant progression out of episodic chapters and great paneling. All right, good to know, but not close enough for us to consider it. We're moving Full Metal Alchemist along. All right, it's just the way it is. This one is interesting. Diaklia is saying Full Metal Alchemist treats human desires and the consequences that come with them very fairly in an interesting manner, confronting with them as people. Okay. Full Metal, we already gave it to it. I was just interested to see what people had to say. Save your Full Metal arguments for when it runs into something that's going to be a tight race, alright? Because now we're doing Gintama versus Jujutsu Kaisen. See, the thing is that, you know what's interesting? I think Gintama is one of those series that has a lot of really ride or die fans. Like, Gintama fans, people who love Gintama, really love Gintama and will go to bat for it, right? Jujutsu Kaisen it's probably more popular overall, but I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen is a popular series at the moment, but I never feel like it has a truly die-hard fan base, you know what I mean? Polmao is saying Bleach did dirty going up against Kingdom that quick. Yeah, probably, man. Probably. Alright, so this is a tight race. We got it basically at a 50-50 point, which means we're going to stop the polling, and we're going to leave it to audience discussion. Remix King says Blue Lock will just be the placeholder title. Blue Lock will just be the placeholder title for Pokemon Adventures. Come on, Morj. I can't just... You know how many people liked Blue Lock? So many people voted for Blue Lock. I can't just replace that with Pokemon Adventures. I don't even know what Pokemon Adventures is. What's Pokemon Adventures? What is it? Let me look it up. Pokemon Adventures. It's a manga. Alright. Does it even have Ash in it? Does it have... Who does it have? Does it have Ash? Is that Ash on the thumbnail? Not thumbnail. Jesus Christ. I think of things in thumbnails at this point. Who does it cover? Who are the main characters? The protagonist is... What? The protagonist is named Red. Wait, am I crazy? Yeah, the protagonist is named Red. Then the next one is named Blue, and then Green, very creative, and then Yellow. It doesn't even have Ash. I'm not including this. There's no Ash in there. There's no Ash. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me see if I missed any arguments. All right. So let's look at Jujutsu Kaisen versus Gintama. All right. All right. And again, I'm gonna try and take myself out of the equation. All right. So this isn't my point of views, right? I'm just seeing who has interesting arguments, right? Drusser is saying, I find Jujutsu Kaisen interesting, but holy shit, its art and combat is terrible. Let's see if we can get to something a little more in-depth than that. Gilser Kraus says, Gintama, half these people's... These are not the arguments I'm looking for. Okay, Silverbum says, Gintama was able to use its slow build-up to get the audience familiar with side characters that were for the most part never forgotten. That's a good argument for Gintama. Do we have anything for Jujutsu Kaisen? Jujutsu Kaisen fans haven't read either, unfortunately. That's true, probably a lot of our anime viewers. Eric Reed says Gintama has a perfect ending and the best side characters filled with depth and connectability. Goncalo Mato says Gintama has a better cast, art, humor, and story. Jujutsu Kaisen is still unfinished and has a lot of pacing issues and plot holes. So it sounds to me, because I've watched a lot of Gintama, but almost exclusively the comedy episodes. All right, that's just the way it is. I've skipped around. I was introduced to it through the comedy. I've watched only the comedy episodes. For me, Gintama is a sitcom. I know there's a greater story and I have a general idea of the greater story that develops, but it sounds as though people really seem to enjoy the side characters and supporting cast for it. Michael B says, Jujutsu Kaisen has a strong start, but is beginning to be lost in complexity and losing plot recently. I think Gintama holds consistently. Yeah, I think at this point, basically, Gintama's just winning across the board in terms of actually presenting interesting arguments. Although Takadi Fraka says, Gintama's fun, but I feel Jujutsu Kaisen has more in terms of depth and getting it to grip you in the story. Amazing power system, too. I'll give it the power system thing. That's something that hasn't been brought up yet. Brandon King says Gintama succeeds by having tons of one-off comedy episodes to really flesh out its cast in a humorous way, such that the plot arcs hit so much more with these characters we've spent so much time with. See, this is the type of arguments that I'm looking for. So not just saying that, it has a good cast or a better cast, or Jujutsu Kaisen has more depth or something like that. Actually try and flesh out the arguments of why, right? So Brandon King is saying Gintama has lots of comedy episodes to really flesh out its cast in a humorous way, right? So that makes sense to me, such that the plot arcs hit so much more with the characters we've spent so much time with. All right, so that sounds stronger to me. I'm going to go with Gintama, because we've been getting better arguments for that across the board so far, right? So, general rule of thumb, I want you guys to talk about the why as much as you can, all right? Talk about the why. The why is important, because anybody can just come in and be like, Vagabond has better character writing than Berserk, or Berserk has better character writing than Vagabond. That doesn't really mean anything, right? So try and include some reasons. That's what we're going for here. You guys are Morj in this situation, and I'm you, all right? We're just swapping roles here. Kushin Mukherjee says Peanuts is the best manga. That's... Also, everybody, shouts to Kushin. All right, snaps in the chat for Kushin, because whether you enjoyed the JoJo's video or not, you probably at least enjoyed a lot of the editing and images and clips and stuff in it, and he was responsible for pretty much all of that. All right. We're going to go to Blue Log versus Vagabond. I feel like this is probably going to be a... well, we'll see. All right. Let's see. I am biased against Vagabond. I'll say this right now, simply because Awa Fiji, a once upon a time One Piece YouTuber, who I do like as a person, has basically made me hate Vagabond without ever reading it, because he posts nonstop on Twitter about how much better Vagabond is than everything else, which it might be, but it just doesn't make me want to read it. All right, we're just going to say it's Vagabond and move the fuck along. All right. No arguments needed here. This is a whopping defeat. Okay, Mob Psycho 100 versus 20th Century Boys. Two series that I've almost no knowledge on. Either way. I know Mob Psycho is about, it's like One Punch Man, but with psychic stuff. And I know 20th Century Boys is about some, I don't know. Time travel, maybe? I don't know. Maybe it's not about time travel at all. In the meantime, let's get the stream likes up to 200. I feel like this one might be close, but I feel like there's probably just more Mob Psycho fans in general. Yeah, this one's close. Okay, it's close enough. It's Mob Psycho's kind of killing it at this point. I would love to hear some arguments for 20th Century Boys, just because I don't know that much about the series, and I think a lot of us don't know that much about the series, so it'd be cool to hear what makes this series what it is. If I feel like the arguments are close, I'll just give it to Mob Psycho because it's also winning in the polls. I get it. Mob Psycho is more popular, but it's close enough. I want to hear about it. Okay, so KK says 20th Century Boys has the most intricately well set up plot. Every character matters for the greater purpose, and it has the most suspenseful mystery. Can I ask for those of you who've read it? Because that sounds like a very interesting series to me and kind of right up my alley of what I like to read. Does the mystery deliver? I think this is something I've asked about in past streams, but never really got a clear answer to. I heard mixed things. Do you feel like the mystery delivers? Are the answers good? Soga King says Mob Psycho 100's imaginative plot, unique animation, point deducted right there. We're talking about manga. I'm deducting a point right here. Its exploration of mental health, personal growth, and human nature through the eyes of a powerful but humble protagonist sets it apart. That's interesting. I do like that overall, though, yeah. Tony America says 20th Century Boys is more ambitious in its plot. I could definitely believe that if Mob Psycho is somewhat similar to One Punch Man, and hits high highs that leave the reader floored. It's a mystery that leaves you wanting more answers, and it delivers. It's good to know. But Mark Gahn says 20th Century Boys mystery did not deliver. The anticlimax that was used was cheap. That's rough to hear. Dobby is also confirming 20th Century Boys probably is one of the best plots I've ever read. This is controversial, though. Noah Kang is saying 20th Century Boys is a lot like other Urasawa manga where the setup is really interesting, but it sputters out and ends with a whimper. This is rough. What does this mean? What does this mean? Is it good or not good? The ending is wax as Phoenix, but just from what they've heard. The final reveal is considered rather controversial, though. I'm hearing more arguments, at least, for it. So far, only Soga King has given me a good argument for Mob Psycho, so I'm inclined to give it to 20th Century Boys. Okay, Remix King is back in here defending something that that's not even in contention. Dude, Pokemon Adventures already lost to Vagabond. What more do you want? Morj, the main characters of Pokemon Adventures are named based on all the main series Pokemon games. One of the series' greatest traits that it fleshes out characters and takes advantage of a well-developed world that characters like Ash does. Go back and let it fight Vagabond. Fine, alright, you know what? Fine. I'm trying to spare your own feelings here, because I'm about to put fucking Pokemon Adventures versus Vagabond. And everybody's gonna fucking vote Vagabond, dude. No one's voting Pokemon over Vagabond. This is for your own sake. I will humor you, though. Alright, guys. Vagabond or Pokemon Adventures? I just don't know if anybody's read Pokemon Adventures. Oh, it's closer. It's closer. Damn. Maybe people are voting this to spite me. A lot of people like Pokemon Adventures. I'm sorry. Okay, someone give me an argument for Pokemon Adventures. We can change this. This is pretty close. All right. No one says 20th Century is interesting with or without the mystery. Strongly built characters. I don't like that, because I don't like series that are built around mysteries that sound like they get away with not delivering on their mystery. That's interesting. Ramen Stain says that if you read Monsters, 20th Century is another level from that. Fake Detective says the main issue with Mob Psycho is that it doesn't have an overarching plot. The interest in Mob stems solely from the characters, and it feels like they're losing steam. Okay, so I'm going to give this to 20th Century Boys. We also accept arguments naturally for why a series is not good. And overall, I've heard, I only saw one really particularly good argument for Mob Psycho. I saw a lot of good arguments for 20th Century Boys. Some arguments saying that it has its flaws and stuff, but still more overall than arguing for Mob Psycho. I think people just didn't put up enough of a fight for Mob Psycho there. So I'm going to give it to 20th Century. I'm going to move it along. Drusser says Mob Psycho absolutely does have an overarching plot. Okay. Oh, people are saying the vote was troll. All right. Dex Holder Red. Okay, his name is Dex Holder Red. Does he mean like Pokedex holder? If so, this guy's like a pro, right? He knows everything, right? Pokemon Adventures is just a manga for the people who played the games. If the manga was your experience of the series, I don't think it would be memorable as a manga. All right, we're moving along. It's Vagabond. All right. Sean Easton says Pokemon Adventures is similar to JoJo's in that it tells a story for each character. Vagabond is better and Blue Lock is better than both. Okay, I don't even know what to say. All right, we're going to say Vagabond. All right. We're going to say Vagabond. All right. No, you guys are... Savage J says, but Mob Psycho won. You guys aren't listening. It's not about... It's not just about the polls, okay? The polls are just to get an idea. Basically, if it's something really skewed, like 80-20 or like 70-30 or something, I'm not going to bother getting into the arguments. But the idea is we get into the arguments for it, right? You can't just basically spam Mob Psycho and it wins, right? You need to put forward arguments for why your side is better. I will read out the arguments, and then based on that, I will just go with whichever side seems like they're putting more thought into their arguments, all right? That's the idea. Sean Easton says, "Wow, Mob was robbed." Sean, what argument did you put forward for Mob? You gotta put the arguments out. That's it. You put out an argument regarding Pokemon Adventures. You didn't say anything about Mob Psycho. Be the change that you want to see. Okay. All right. So basically, guys, think about it like this. The poll is not the end-all be-all. The poll is just phase 1. If the poll is a stomp, then we move on. Winner wins. If the poll is close, then we move to round 2, the true round, which is discussion. All right? Mr. Sin says, okay, but we literally said we care about Mob's growth, which actually pays off. You guys didn't... Okay. A lot of salt is coming out now about Mob Psycho, which would have been great if people put more thought into their arguments. Wait, I missed your argument on Mob? Okay, what was the argument on Mob? Wasn't it 70-30 in Mob's favor? Fine. You know what? I'm going to do this once and only once, all right? I'm going to do this once and only once. We can move Mob... No, because it's at such a bad standard. Died just as Mob won fair? It's not about the polls. The polls are almost unimportant. Only Soga King is putting out arguments regarding Mob Psycho. Okay, you know what? We're keeping it. This is a learning lesson for everybody, myself included. I need to be more clear about the rules, all right? 70-30 and up? How about that? Let's be more clear. Let's set some standards. 70-30 and up, all right? The poll decides it. Anything less than that, we go to discussion, all right? Unless it's a topic that I really find uninteresting, right? If it was like Kaguya-sama versus Blue Lock, then I just don't even want to hear it. Bunfagum says, Morj, we want Pokemon to win. Hashtag Pokeocracy. All right, we'll keep that in mind. You know what? If we really get down to the wire, we'll make like Pokemon represented by Berserk or something, and we can vote on it again. All right, Demon Slayer versus Attack on Titan. Daniel finds us saying this is rigged. He might be correct. The Outback Panda says, why not pin the rules? That's a good idea. Let's pin the rules. All right? We're going to pin the rules. The rules need to be pinned. Okay. Rules. I'm going to read them out loud so everyone understands. Polls. Phase 1 is of each matchup is a poll. If the poll is 70-30 or more skewed, then no phase 2. If closer than 70-30, then I hear out arguments. Best arguments from chat win. Can argue for or against. Don't need to. All right. Poll is irrelevant here. Okay. All right. We've got some rules. Caleb Brown says, let's add Morj has to read whatever manga wins. I have a feeling that whatever manga wins is probably going to be a manga that I've already read. But yeah, for sure. If there's a manga that wins that I haven't read, I'll probably be reading that at some point anyway. All right. You guys should hopefully understand The rules. Phase 1 of each matchup is a poll. If the poll is 70-30 or more skewed, then no phase 2. If closer than 70-30, then I hear out arguments. Best arguments from chat win. Poll is irrelevant here. Alright, let's move it along. Demon Slayer versus Attack on Titan. Let's do it. Remix King says, no one said a real agreement for Vagabond. They said they thought Vagabond was better, so by your own rules, Pokemon wins. Dude, a lot of people said they only voted Pokemon to troll. That in itself tells me that I shouldn't be doing this. I'm so done with this. Let me be. You yourself haven't given a good argument over it, as far as I remember. Maybe I missed it. I might be missing some arguments. I think I missed Sean Easton's argument earlier. I'm sorry. It happened. It happens, you know. But it's just the way it is. This is interesting because a lot of people really feel strongly negatively about both these series, as far as I know. Okay, but people clearly feel a lot more strongly about Attack on Titan at least being better than Demon Slayer. So easy poll. We're moving this along. Attack on Titan takes it. I like easy polls. I like things moving along seamlessly. All right. One Punch Man versus Vinland Saga. This is going to be, I feel like this is going to be an interesting one. Again, I have to take my own opinions out of it. AOT is incredibly mid, entirely carried by the anime. It's funny that you could say that about Demon Slayer as well. Alright, we gotta hear arguments. It's about 50-50. Yeah, it's just obviously a close one. We're gonna hear arguments. Vinland versus One Punch Man. Shoot. I refuse to vote. Really close. Jacob Busky says Vinland Saga makes you a better person. Afnan Khan says Thorfinn is one of the best, if not the best, main character in manga. Okay. Buga says Vinland Saga has a well-developed cast of characters, each with their own motivations, backstories, and personalities. The story takes time to explore their lives and the relationships between them. I like those type of arguments. Matthew Prisco is saying Vinland has the best of both worlds, good action, and even the farm arc has a lot of character development. Gabu says One Punch Man has stagnated while Vinland Saga has remained peak, its characters, themes, development, and messaging. Okay, died just in favor of One Punch Man. One Punch Man's overarching story is carefully made and has its payoffs with humor and great characters and gags, with no one knowing his true strength. Okay, Emmanuel is saying One Punch Man art is top tier. KK is saying Thorfinn's development into trying to become a better person is one of the most powerful messages in manga. The I Have No Enemies panel is unmatched. I'm trying to keep my own bias out of here, but the I Have No Enemies panel is literally one of my favorite panels ever. I feel like I gotta be honest about that, so people understand what I'm talking about. Sean Easton is saying, people understand, where my own biases come from. I think it's important to be upfront about that. Sean Easton says, with Vinland, its second arc had amazing themes displayed throughout the manga. One Punch Man is more consistently entertaining. Anush Agarwal says, Vinland has the better first two arcs, but the way it sputters out and completely loses the plot's development on its own main character basically destroys my enjoyment of the second half. See, that's my opinion along with Anuj there. Does that mean that One Punch Man is better? I don't know. I'm only seeing arguments from Die just for One Punch Man. Ramen Stain says Pokemon... God damn it! Pokemon's world is imaginative and fun, something we all wish we lived in. Vagabond is just feudal Japan, which is bad, and I wouldn't live there. That's actually... That's actually very true. Raul says One Punch Man is just flames. See, that's the type of thing I'm trying to avoid. Eugene Tan says One Punch Man's manga poorly adapts the webcomic and basically becomes a bunch of uninteresting, if well-drawn action, which loses much of the aspects which made the webcomic interesting. I'm leaning with the Vinland argument so far. I'm not seeing any truly, I'm seeing what you guys are seeing. There's not really any... I just gave some good arguments for One Punch Man. Besides that, I think most people are making better arguments for Vinland's. I'm seeing GS Sajiro saying Vinland has very clear messaging, just a better planned story. One Punch Man is meandering with good side characters, but no more than that. Vinland Saga is one of the best explorations of the meanings of life with extremely deep characters, says Ace Gods. Yep. Again, I'm not expecting, like, you guys only have so much time to, or only so much space to write out arguments, but stuff like Vinland has one of the best explorations of the meanings of life. Those are reasons that people are giving that I think are a little more fleshed out than just, like, good characters and stuff, right? Mr. Crescent says Vinland Saga has a unique perspective on slavery and teaches us to respect dignity. People are saying One Punch Man is absolutely hilarious. I'm going to need more than comedy. Savage J's One Punch Man's art is probably the best out. I agree. Comedy or art is very important. I'd argue more than comedy for when you're talking about what's the greatest. Okay, Just Some Guy Without a Mustache says One Punch Man introduces a new style of shonen where the power system is interesting for the new generation of younger audiences. The stakes are much higher in terms of fights and rivalries. I'm trying to leave my own opinions out of it. It's hard. So, like, I will, it's my stream, right? So I can voice my own opinions. I'm not using this to determine the arguments, right? So for me, when you say the stakes are much higher, to me, One Punch Man has lower stakes in general because you're written around a main character that basically can solve every problem. Like, or there's no threat to him that exists, really, right? At the end of the day, so it's hard to say that there's stakes. I also push back against the idea that, like, Vinland Saga has consistently kept developing its themes and characters in a really same level of quality as it always has, right? So those are my opinions, right? But I'm trying not to let that really sway things. At the end of the day, I'm seeing better arguments overall for more good arguments overall for Vinland, just in terms of frequency, right? The theme, like Light Yagami is saying, the theme of Vinland Saga of the cruelty of the worlds and everyone's love is fake is an amazing theme conveyed in the story. One Punch Man is a decent story with an amazing arc. Brandon King says One Punch Man is a masterful subversion of its usual genre tropes by through its love of those tropes and comedic reimagining of them. I like that. This is tight. This is tight. Pina says One Punch Man is better because of its association with Mob. It's not a good reason. Minfat says Saitama as a character is written as a reality check and is very satisfying when the... Oh, shit. Saitama as a character is written as a reality check and is very satisfying when the character/villain is defeated by him, not just physically, but also in the way of thinking. Okay, I like that. I'm still seeing more for Vinland versus One Punch Man. Seeing more for Vinland versus One Punch Man. I'm gonna give it to One Punch Man, but I do think that One Punch Man. Sorry, I'm gonna give it to Vinland, but I do think One Punch Man fans, gave good arguments. Dynamic says, I feel people value super deep and meaningful themes way too much when it comes to a story. There's more to a story than themes, character development, story, etc. I do have to say, in that argument, I agree with the general idea you're getting at, but the structure of what you're saying is not too good. You said there's more to a story than themes, character development, and story. So I'd say just sound that out for a second. Alright. Okay. Alright. We're moving on. Monster versus Dragon Ball. And now that we're moving on, I think I've got a better way of structuring this in my head. That makes sense. So that we avoid just people talking their views, if that makes sense. I think we can make it more of a back and forth. This is another tight one. Let's hear it. Another tight one. Let's hear it. See, there's an argument at the end of the day that Dragon Ball is just the greatest manga ever, right? Not because of quality or however you want to say, but level of influence, what it did for the medium, etc., right? There's an argument there, right? but I don't think that that's what people generally talk about when they're trying to compare these things. Death Pop says Dragon Ball is uniquely creative, especially for its time. Yes, for its time. Up until the Buu Saga, it's very well paced and captivating. I would agree. What's funny is when I was a kid, the Buu Saga was my favorite because that's kind of when I got into the series and watching it. My friends had already been watching it and stuff, but Buu was when I personally started tuning in. But later on, I was just like, this one was not that good. I'm trying to avoid things that just say, okay, like this is a little better. Monster. Matthew Prisco says Monster is the best villain in anime. That tied with its open ending at the end, that being who is the real monster, question mark, great writing. Okay. Zekin says Toriyama's blend of writing gag and action, especially in his characters, make for constantly refreshing scenes that make the show not overstay its welcome. Agreed. Okay, so to try and make things a little more structured here, right? So we're not just running in circles. So what Zekin is saying is that the writing gags and the action, right, make for consistently refreshing scenes. So his argument is basically here that Dragon Ball is consistently entertaining. The arguments I'm seeing from Monster are more like they seem to have a little more depth behind them, right? Bugas is saying Monster has a large cast of realistic and relatable characters. Each character is fleshed out and given a unique backstory and purpose, making them feel like real people. That sort of thing sounds more compelling to me than arguing that Dragon Ball is consistently entertaining. And B Ranks Drum says of Liberation says Dragon Ball always pulls things out of nowhere and constantly breaks their rules. Ricky Servant says Dragon Ball is one of the best paneling in manga. The way the art is drawn keeps you interested in reading, plus one of the best villains in Frieza. Again, there were reasons. Let's see. Dynamic, welcome to the Yonko. Caleb Brown says Monster is an amazing study into the mind of a human, with it having you ask yourself what it means to be human. Yeah, I'm just seeing stronger arguments for Monster. Jolly D. Joestar has a good argument for Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball manages to develop characters and have their growth be natural, like Gohan's growth, to be scared of using his powers to becoming a brave man fighting for his world over a span of 18 years. I see it. Godly Complex says Dragon Ball, not Super, has excellent combat choreography, and paneling that hasn't been replicated to this day. Some of its best fill into hero arcs like Vegeta and Piccolo. Yeah, Kunk Fuckley says basically they're trying to do very different things. It's not really fair. Yeah, ultimately I'm seeing a bit more in-depth arguments for Monster, but I get people saying that, Dragon Ball does different things, very consistently entertaining, has a great cast of characters that, blah, 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 blah. Jolly D. Joestar also points out Dragon Ball is the best build-up to a power-up in all series, from the Saiyan saga hinted at Super Saiyan, and masterfully building up to the Namek Super Saiyan moment. I would agree that that is probably to date, easily the best built-up power-up and executed power-up in, anime and manga. For sure. I agree with that. Mr. Sin says, to be fair, you could remove Monster from history, but you couldn't do that with Dragon Ball. That's a very compelling argument. Monster has better side stories, and connecting them to a main story is what makes Monster truly a masterpiece. At the end of the day, I think I'm going to give it to Monster because a lot of Dragon Ball fans are even conceding that, Dragon Ball, at the end of the day, it has more soul, it has more charm, things like that, rather than being, I guess, the superior series. So we're going to move it along. All right. Slam Dunk versus Death Note. I forgot I have to put up a poll. It's basically, yeah, Death Note hit the 70% mark. Gotta give it to Death Note. Sorry, Slam Dunk fans, but I'm trying to avoid too many discussions because we've got more rounds to go, you know? Gantz versus Undead Unluck. This is interesting. I'll always say, even though Dragon Ball lost in the first round, depending on how you describe the parameters of what greatest means, Dragon Ball could hypothetically just be shot straight to the top, you know? Gantz is also hitting that 70% mark. You love to see it. Yeah, you love to see it. Just for me, to move things along for me. I like Undead Unluck, but for my sake. Naruto versus Dorohedoro. I don't even know if I spelled Dorohedoro right. Let's see. I'm going to lower it to 65-35 being the defining thing for polls or not. Because otherwise we get too tight, you know? And that's easy for Naruto. Let's move it along. Ooh, wait, we got a good one coming up. Holy shit. People are going to get really upset about this one. I'm sorry. This one's going to be really, really contentious. I'm very interested to see how this goes. Hunter x Hunter versus JoJo's Bizarre Adventures. Two fan bases that are very, very dug in to their love of their particular series. I have my own take, which is that even though I love both the series quite a bit, I'll say my bias straight up, right? It's not even about the series at a point. JoJo's fan base is extraordinarily annoying. Hunter x Hunter with 65%. 64%. I did say that 65% from here on, I'm not doing any discussion, but it is getting closer and closer. So we're going to give it 5 seconds. If Hunter x Hunter makes it to 65 at that point, then we skip discussion. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, fuck. We got to talk about this. Oh, it made it. But it was a little too late. Sean Easton says, if it's 65-35, Mob wins. Lol, good luck. Fuck. That's true. I do have to be consistent. Well, I changed the rule later. Okay, you know what? We're going to do one more vote for Mob Psycho versus... before we get into this, right? You guys think about your Hunter x Hunter JoJo's. Think about your Hunter x Hunter JoJo's real quick, right? We're going to do one more vote, to be fair, for Mob Psycho versus 20th Century Boys, all right? If Mob Psycho gets 65% of the votes, then it will move on, right? If not, then the previous decision stays, all right? Mob Psycho 100 versus 20th Century Boys. Redemption round. We got to be fair. Mob 20th, all right? We're not doing Pokemon Adventures. Fuck off. That's not included in the redemption round. Ooh, Mob Psycho with 67%. All right. It's the way it is. Rules are rules. Rules are rules. All right. Mob Psycho moves it along. R.I.P. 20th Century Boys. Okay. Back to Hunter x Hunter versus JoJo's. What do you guys have to say? Ramen Sains says, you yourself will admit that most of JoJo's barely tells a story and has hundreds of trash, themeless, plotless chapters. Yes, and JoJo's is genuinely the only manga or series I've ever read that can do that sort of thing, and people will not care at all and still call it the best shit ever. It gets that stuff later on, but for the most part, it doesn't have it. The thing is, a lot of people compare mainly exclusively Steel Ball Run when they talk about how good JoJo's is, and that's its own argument. I'd say Steel Ball Run is still fucking loose as fuck when it comes to plot and themes compared to other well-written series, but, you can't discount JoJo's creativity in other departments as well. Still has really good character writing. Still has really creative fights, really creative worlds, really creative designs, dialogue, blah blah blah. Godly Complex says, I'm not trying to. I'm just trying to balance out my comments on JoJo's, right? To give myself a neutral sort of setting before we compare it to Hunter x Hunter, which I love as well. Godly Complex says Hunter x Hunter is some of the most memorable antagonists in manga with various motivations and character arcs. Togashi is able to make compelling characters as simple as Hisoka or complex/thematic as Meruem. Let's get some more specificity in there. Matthew Briscoe says Hunter x Hunter, best power system. Some people would say stands. One of the best villain groups, agreed. And a very interesting take on the main character becoming evil just for revenge. Also, Chimera Ant arc goated. I think for here I want some extra specificity when people are talking about things. Don't even worry about... extra specificity because people are just going to say a lot of similar things here to each other. Seeing more arguments for Hunter x Hunter for sure. Ichi says Hunter x Hunter is one of the greatest shonens, which paradoxically explores the darkest depths of characters, yet can switch to lighthearted tones, more in line with a shonen. Agreed. Dr. Donka says the formulaic fights of JoJo's is a tremendous weak spot for the series. Time and time again, fights and the solution to conflicts are solved with solutions that go against its own stated logic. I agree. Dr. Donga says this means that you constantly know that you can't rely on what the story feeds you, and there are no stakes because you know that JoJo can just pull out something stupid. There's arguments here I'm seeing from Martin Mayo about, JoJo's having weaker earlier parts, etc. Diego Tejada, I don't know how much to weigh that because, you could argue I should have just put Steel Ball Run or something like that, so I won't weigh that in too much. Diego Tejada says JoJo's biggest strength are in its unique storytelling and power system, both of which Hunter x Hunter surpasses in different ways before we even take into account its groundbreaking depiction of themes. Again, Tristan Hahn, you can't just say Hunter x Hunter has amazing storytelling, characters, and power system. We need specificity. Mr. Sin says Meruem as a character understanding what a human is through Komugi slaps. Minfat says there's no other manga like JoJo. Its unique way of executing things makes things incredibly suspenseful and unexpected. The weird situations that JoJo creates is something only can be done by JoJo's. I agree. Pekara is saying JoJo's unique. Every part is a new experience. That's what I said earlier in this stream, which is like when people are saying what's so good about JoJo's. It's harder to put what makes it good into the same categories as what makes other things good. If you compare it category to category, like which has better themes and stuff, it's like, well, it loses. But JoJo's has its own unique style and way of doing things that it just makes it very, very hard to compare, and you have to respect it for what it is, in my opinion. Let's see if we can get an argument that's different from just JoJo's is unique. No one points out, I don't know what you think, but long dialogues and explanation of every move in every panel is a huge drawback of Hunter x Hunter, kills momentum of every strong sequence. I think that's definitely a good argument. The Outback Panda says Hunter x Hunter is an ever-changing manga that can't be put in a box. Every arc is entirely different in tone and theme, yet arcs flow so naturally into one another. Nice. But Ricky Servin says the Hunter x Hunter manga looks like a book half the time. A good manga should have at least more art than words. So the biggest complaint being put forward about Hunter x Hunter right now is too much writing, which, is the point. I'm seeing more good arguments about Hunter x Hunter at the moment, though. Okay, we got a thematic argument for JoJo's here, finally. Light Yagami says JoJo explores the themes of fate, which has been consistently in the series since the very beginning. It does a good job at writing interesting powers that take inspiration from songs and even movies. I don't know how good of an argument that second part is, taking inspiration from songs and movies, but I do like that you're talking about one of the themes that's there. Jacob Busky says Hunter x Hunter makes humans as a whole reflect on the effect we have on our environment and the people around us and how horrible we can truly be. The Outback Panda has a good point. Kurapika hasn't been the focus for like 20 chapters, but that's not an issue because characters that would be tertiary in other series are well defined and developed. Ramen Stains makes a good point. Remember, we're looking at JoJo's as a whole, not just Steel Ball Run. If the rest of the series weighs it down, then it weighs it down. Yeah, I do think that's not fair. I should have probably just done Steel Ball Run because the quality varies so dramatically, and Steel Ball Run is ultimately a reset of the series. Dynamic says JoJo's. From here on, I'm not going to read out everybody's full comments if I feel like they're not making, like, if parts of comments are just kind of general. Like, I'm just going to focus on the points that feel like points. You know what I mean? So, like, Dynamic says, more than half the story is very underwhelming. I'm not going to comment on statements like those from here on. I'm going to talk about the second half where he says, many setups don't pay off and many side characters are forgotten. Okay. See, Minfat, your comment is too general about the story structure. See, Joe Tape, who should be supporting JoJo, it's also too general. I mean, JoJo's story and battles are repetitive and boring, but you can't just say Hunter x Hunter is shown and done right, great storytelling, and actually fun and interesting battles. We try and say what makes these things fun or interesting. What makes the character writing good? What makes these things good? You know what I'm saying? Try and focus on that. Overall, I'm seeing more about Hunter x Hunter. There's just more support for Hunter x Hunter in general. And I think that the arguments are a little stronger so far for Hunter x Hunter. I want to see... Yeah. I'm also seeing, though, more criticisms of Hunter x Hunter. Right? So, people not liking the long dialogue, things like that. Harsh says, Togashi has created a very wide and believable world. There are moments when Hunter x Hunter can feel inescapably grim and moments when it feels very uplifting. Fake Detective says, this is a very good point, actually. I like it. Although the Hunter x Hunter narrator is criticized, you will never hear criticism about its character dialogues. JoJo's characters feel like they're talking to me rather than each other, making them inorganic. That is a interesting point. I'm actually gonna write that down and credit you because I have lots of mixed thoughts about JoJo's dialogue. I actually really like it in some ways, and really roll my eyes at it another way. Like, I think it's very, very unique is the word that we use to describe JoJo's a lot, right? When things don't fall in the usual category of how things are normally written, but we can't quite tell if it's good or bad. We just like that it's different, right? You call it unique, I suppose, at least with JoJo's a lot. I think the dialogue is one of those major points, right? The dialogue is one of those major points. I think that the JoJo's dialogue can be really, this is me personally talking, right? I think that it can be really fun and different and kind of addictive to listen to, just how characters sort of mull over their words and just weirdly meander through their sentences and talk in such an inorganic way. But the criticism can be put out, like you just said, that at the end of the day, it can feel very inorganic and can feel as though it's too blunt with how it's trying to approach its exposition and spell things out for the reader in such a way that the dialogue doesn't seem, you know, how real characters would actually talk to each other. You know, Light Yagami says JoJo's parts allow for multiple different protagonists that allow for fresh air and does so in a natural way that Hunter x Hunter doesn't really do with how it got rid of Gon. Six Pain says, I don't know what more specificity we need. Top 5 arcs of all time and best power systems of all time are very real arguments. Those aren't, because when you, so you can't just say, you need to explain why do you think it's one of the best power system, right? So start with that. Why is it one of the best power system? If you just say best power system, well then a JoJo's person can just say best power system. That's not specific, right? When maybe I'm using the wrong word when I'm saying specific. Tell me why. So I had a teacher actually very early on, who not early on, this was in high school, right? Later in high school, basically, who was I think a European history teacher or something like that. And he when he made us do historical book reviews, right? And this was actually something that really changed my mind, and made me understand a lot more how literary criticism or criticism in general should be approached, right? This was in high school. Okay, so the simplest thing he said is that one thing he hates when people review books, right? And review well, like when kids do, right? Professionals don't do this, right? But when his students review things, right? History books that he makes them read. And he says, lots of times people just say, the writing was boring, or this was boring, right? That's not criticism. If you say, this is his own words, right? He said, if you say something is boring, all that tells me is you're boring, because you can't explain why something failed to capture your interest. What was it? Was it monotony? Was it repetition? Was it lack of innovative ideas, right? What made it boring, right? Was it the way things were structured? Was it too much information overload? Was it information that kind of never felt novel or particularly insightful. You need to be able to explain why something, like you can't just say something is exciting, right? You can't just say something is boring, right? That's how you felt about it, but what made it the way it is? So when you say it's the best power system, that's not specific, right? You have to explain why you think it's the best power system, right? And at a certain point, you can say, well, like, why do you think this and that and that? You can just go through a continuous regression of like saying why. But you get the point at the general level. If you're saying it's the best power system, explain why, right? You could say Hunter x Hunter follows a series of more intricate rules than most other series follow, right, with its power system. And it tries to keep going down and revisiting those rules, elaborating on them, making sure that those rules consistently come into play in its fights, right? And by working with a framework of these particular rules, the system that battles work around feel more real to the reader, right? So you're providing reasons for everything you're saying, right? And that's just stuff off the cuff, so you can probably make a better argument if you take some time to think about it, right? But you get what I'm saying? So don't just tell me something is good or bad or boring, because that means that you're boring, because you're not able to explain why you think or feel the things you think about different series, right? So maybe I should explain that from the start. But that's just how criticism works in general. That's why any professional critic that you're reading that's good at all, right? Considered a professional at all, basically, or considered reputable at all, right? They're not just going to say stuff like the movie is boring. If they do say the movie is boring, right, the rest of their article is probably going to be breaking down why they view it that way, right? They're not just going to say it's exciting. They're going to be explaining why they view it as exciting, right? So the why is very important. Try and talk about why. Don't just use adjectives or broad adjectives, right? Alan Sanji says, hold on, I was watching the past other streams, and where was this one dude at when I needed help talking with the ladies? Just go DM him. All right. You guys get it? All right. We're going to move Hunter x Hunter along because so far it's generally been getting the best of things. Yeah. And if I'd done just Steel Ball Run, maybe it would have been tighter. All right? See, Pekara says JoJo's power system reflects the personality of the stand user very often. I think that's like a specific point, right? But it's too late. We've already moved on. People got to sleep, as they say. All right. Bleach versus Kingdom. Let's do it. All right, Kingdom takes. Oh no, Bleach takes it. Oh fuck, no, it's too tight. No, Kingdom. All right, let's move this along. Do Bleach versus Kingdom. We're trying to move this along. Bleach versus Kingdom. Give some reasons. And you know what? We're gonna cap it. We're gonna cap it. I'm gonna give it like 60 seconds on the clock, and see what arguments I see for a 60-second timer. All right, ready? Starting. I'm going to see what arguments I see in that 60 seconds. Green Princess says, I tuned into the stream to have fun. Why do I feel like I'm in middle school writing? Because these people are just saying peak fiction. The best. See, Kingdom, Ice is saying Kingdom is way better. That doesn't help me. Kingdom has a better story, says sorry Google. Nobody listened to the explanation it just gave. Why does it have a better story? Matthew Prisco says, Bleach has very interesting fight scenes since every character is a different Senpaku. Beautiful art which contrasts black and white very well, and a top 10 arc in Shonen Soul Society. Okay, so some of those were reasons. Alright, so right now Bleach is in the lead. Desmond Video Discussion says Kingdom uses time skips and oh wait, that's it. That was a short amount of time. All right, we got very little to work with. Kingdom uses time skips and military progression very strongly to give an extremely satisfying sense of progress, similar to how bounties felt in early One Piece. Okay, I'll read two more things from each. Okay. Profi Sex says the way Bleach handles the theme of protection from different perspectives through Ichigo is jaw-dropping on reread, from the failure to protect his mother, the success of Rukia, and extremes in Orihime. I'm seeing better arguments right now for Bleach, honestly, even though I'm sure that Kingdom is probably by most standards a better series. Playa Kenzo says Kingdom is constantly gripping with unpredictable war tactics and engaging in philosophical clashes from characters outside of the action, but also blends the general philosophies into its action. Minfat says Kingdom wars are the most strategical wars in manga. Each general has certain tendencies on how they would use soldiers and certain traits the armies have. They become very chess-like. That's interesting to me. Vorse King says Kingdom's display of battlefield... Where'd it go? Tactics, battlefields and tactics by the MCs and other generals is a good depiction of actual battles. Cool. Muhammad Rilson is saying Kingdom stakes are higher because characters can die. Someone else is saying Bleach has low progression. Smell my finger 01. Thanks for being a Yonto tier member for 3 months. Mork, hope you're doing well. Glad to see Ippo in the competition. My big Mara brethren coming out swinging in the chat. Okay. Goncalo Matos says Kingdom has wars that feel alive. Every character is drawn with detail. Every encounter is paid proper attention, and the strategies used in Kingdom are something out of this world. See, I like this stuff. Sixbane says Kingdom actually has a plot. Okay. We're gonna move it along. Kingdom takes it. Although I did see, we started off hot for Bleach. Thought Bleach was gonna take it for a second. Okay. For the next round, by the way, we're going to do... Okay, for the next round, from here on, we're going to do 60-40 takes it, basically. We're lowering the bar lower and lower. Okay, Ippo versus Tokyo Ghoul. All right, Ippo takes it. We're not waiting for it to drop lower. We need to move things along. Ippo takes it. All right. Made in Abyss versus Haikyuu. Don't care about either of these series. Although I've seen Made in Abyss. Oh my god, why is it so close? God damn it. I have to listen to arguments about this. This stream, god damn it. Alright, let's do it. Alright. Fine. Put some arguments for Haikyuu versus Made in Abyss. This is good. Okay, this is good because I've only heard things about Haikyuu. I never got far enough into it to actually know what's up. So, tell me some stuff about Haikyuu. Pawn 2 says that the writing in Haikyuu allows, on many occasions, to view the story from the perspective of the opponents and even questions the side supported by the reader due to antagonists represented as protagonists. That was one thing I've heard a lot about Haikyuu, which I do find interesting. Virgil Hawkins says Haikyuu does a great job highlighting themes of hard work versus talent by showing how ambiguous the differences between the two ideas are. Oh, it's random seeding, by the way. It's random seeding, for people asking. Virgil Hawkins says Haikyuu tackles it in an inspiring way with the idea that the greatest at a craft are usually those who love it wholeheartedly, and that passion manifests in the time and effort put into self-improvement. Sorry, Google says Made in Abyss's world building is incredible due to the sheer level of detail and thought given to each layer. Additionally, all of the monsters and progressions in the journey are incredibly creative. I think Virgil Hawkins and the previous arguments for Haikyuu were more detailed and interesting. I Can Drive says Haikyuu is really good because of how palpable the love of the sport is, but I do think Made in Abyss is an overall better show. But you made a better argument for Haikyuu there. Jolly D. Joe says Haikyuu has a strategic tactic, in-game matches, and involves well-thought-out tactics, and the art further brings out the brilliance. All-Powerful God Analyst says Haikyuu humanizes each one of its characters, making victories and defeats on every match for every team hit crazy emotional highs. Okay, I've seen enough. More arguments for Made in Abyss, more details. More arguments for Haikyuu, sorry. More arguments for Haikyuu than Made in Abyss. more details. No bias there. I tried 3 episodes of Haikyuu. I couldn't get into it, but the arguments there were just better. And I've seen a lot of Made in Abyss, and I do like it. Chainsaw Man versus Berserk. And yes, I'm sorry that some series that are beloved by a lot of people, a la JoJo's, a la whatever happens here, are going to get knocked out early on. But the seeding was random. Do not blame anybody in particular. Let me order some food in the meantime. Berserk takes it. Oh, sorry, Berserk. Berserk takes it. All right. Sorry about that. Yu Yu Hakusho versus Great Teacher. Fuck, please don't let it be closed. Yu Yu Hakusho takes it. All right, good stuff, good stuff. We've got some clean voting to round out this first round. And, wait, what? From here on, we're going to do 60-40 as the rule. 60-40 is the new rule. Makes it much easier for me. Makes it easier. Just makes it easier. All right? And at this point, we need to get to the final four, right? Okay. Let me just place this order. Okay. Okay. Full Metal Alchemist versus Gintama. Pina says, if you think Berserk is better than Chainsaw Man, you shouldn't be allowed to read manga. This is not my votes, man. This is just... I like Berserk. I like Chainsaw Man better right now. For me personally. I just enjoy it more, right? Don't want to get into better worse discussion. Just telling you my bias is there, but I can't go against the votes. All right. Berserk is obviously a phenomenal series, and we don't need to get into all of that. I think everyone knows how great Berserk is. Remix King says, Pokemon should be where Vagabond is. Let me argue. God, okay, how about when everyone else is arguing about Vagabond versus Mob Psycho, you can be arguing Pokemon versus Mob Psycho. How about that? All right. Full Metal versus Gintama. All right. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. All right. You guys can hear me, right? Oh, Full Metal takes it. Bunfagum says, Morj, stop the racism in stream, stop the buffoons. I don't know what this refers to. We're just going to move Full Metal Alchemist along. All right. Okay, we're going to change the rules to 60-40. All right? We're going to change the rules to 60-40. All right? Let me make that edit so people can see it. So you guys gotta get real close from now on. All right. So if you really wanna, push for your team, you gotta get those votes up. All right. Vagabond / Pokemon Adventures versus Mob Psycho 100. All right. Remix King is asking, how does 60 work when there are 3 contenders? Just, you do the math in your head, I suppose. Okay. Alright, let's do Vagabond versus Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho shouldn't be here. There is a good argument that Mob Psycho should not be here. Remix King says Pokemon Adventures has great conflicts with a deep battle system and uses the battles to go over specific themes such as revenge and long-lasting rivalry. Alright, so god damn it. Vagabond couldn't even pull 60% of the votes. God damn it. Alright, guess we gotta hear about Vagabond versus Mob Psycho and a little bit of fucking Pokemon Adventures. Remix King says Red's battle versus Giovanni is a great example since he used the tools that past characters had fought to make for a satisfying conclusion. Trying to avoid... Remix King... Remix King is trying to avoid spoilers for people who haven't read. Of a series that is literally not even in this bracket. But he's actually doing a great job, not only getting very specific with the points he's making, but actually having the consideration to make sure that none of us are accidentally spoiled for series that none of us are interested in. Okay, Remix King says Pokemon also has a large deep cast and the interactions between the cast is comparable to One Piece. The battle of the 3 gens versus Kyogre is proof. Alright, there you have it. I have half a mind to move Pokemon Adventures up, just because no one's fucking putting up any good arguments for Vagabond or Mob Psycho. No one has put everything. Just a Guy says Pokemon has a very interesting world, which really makes the Pokemon universe come to life more than any other Pokemon media. Also, the battles are very strategic and chaotic in an interesting way. Okay, finally we got something on Vagabond. Booga says Vagabond is set in feudal Japan. It draws heavily on historical events and figures, making it feel like a window into another time and place. Shit, we're gonna get some repetitive arguments here, aren't we? Okay, Caleb Brown says Vagabond takes a character in Musashi that thinks that he knows what he wants in life, and he takes that journey, he realizes that his dream isn't what he thought it was, and changes who he is. Is his dream to become the strongest? And then by the end he doesn't decide he's the strongest? Achintya Mitra says Vagabond's story of Musashi going through the trials and tribulations of what it means to be a warrior and growing as a person alongside is just amazing. Alright, I'm hearing some good arguments for it. Federico Armada says Mob Psycho is a simplistic comedy which doesn't dive deep into themes, whereas Vagabond has a lot of complex characters. Okay, so that's actually not an argument in favor of Mob Psycho. Dr. Donga says I love Mob, but at its core, it's a simple pleasure with great moments and really can't shine, but that's about it. Anime is awesome though. Alright, I'm hearing Vagabond should have won, and you guys just made me basically hear out discussions because Vagabond couldn't pull enough votes for some reason. Pull the votes! Alright? Pull the votes so we don't have to do the discussions. Alright, Attack on Titan versus Vinland Saga. God damn it, Vinland. Why couldn't... No, just... Ah, fuck. It's gonna be close every time from here on out, isn't it? Alright. Vinland Saga versus Attack on Titan. Let's hear it. Stop talking about Mob Psycho. Remix King says, Morj, what the fuck? No votes for Pokemon. I must have forgotten. I'm sorry, man. Buga says, ain't no way some of y'all actually voted for AOT. Not only some, so many that I have to do a discussion section for it. Desmond Video Discussion says, nah, this stream is just full of seinen heads. Attack on Titan was peak till the last chapter. Was Attack on Titan not seinen? It was shonen, I guess, right? Forget. People are saying AOT is terrible, but so is the new Vinland arc. I'm throwing in my points, which is just literally just... No one is putting in any literally not a single in-depth argument here. Vinland is more Sigma. Vinland is better. Vinland has deep themes. All right. Adam Mark says, going back to Anuja's point in Vinland, second half has completely lost its direction and therefore lost me. I agree. But again, it's not about my opinions. If people put good arguments for Vinland, I have to move Vinland forward. A revere to everyone said, with the first actual argument, Attack on Titan keeps increasing the intensity of the story with each arc, while Vinland Saga began to stale after they arrived in Vinland. The goal was somewhat achieved, and there was no real interest left. Okay, Real Thunderhawk says Attack on Titan is one of the worst endings, betraying its own themes, and whether intentionally or not, portraying genocide in a positive light. But KK says the overarching theme of freedom in Attack on Titan is unbelievably powerful, as each of the main cast exemplifies a different part of it. Aaron's journey in the story is unbelievable, and the political commentary is great. There are better arguments so far for Attack on Titan, so if you guys are saying Vinland Saga clears so easily, I would love to hear why. Lars Mango says Attack on Titan explores the concept of people being slaves, such as demonstrated with Eren, who through his obsession with freedom ended up becoming a slave to it as it clouded his judgment. Okay, Attack on Titan, this is by Yusuf. Attack on Titan starts as a typical shonen, unlike Vinland, but transitions into a series with many fleshed out characters like the Jaegers, Erwin, Levi, and Zeke, even had the fandom cheering for despicable MC. Okay, nobody's putting forward... Yeah, people are... there are more critical things of Attack on Titan being thrown out, and but generally much more specific arguments for Attack on Titan being put out. So this is a case where, even though clearly more people seem to believe that Vinland is better, people think it's easy that Vinland is better, and I think I personally like Vinland better, for sure, and Vinland was once one of my favorite series, for sure. Vinland was the only series that for a bit I was like, I think I might like this better than One Piece. Okay, I'm serious about this. You guys have to put forward good arguments. Most people only put forward fleshed out arguments for Attack on Titan, so Attack on Titan is moving on. Alright? Sorry about that. It's the way it is. Monster versus Death Note. This is not... You guys have the power to express your arguments. When you don't do it and you just say Vinland Saga clears, I'm not going to give you it. You need to give arguments. You need to give arguments. There need to be arguments with reasons. People gave reasons for Attack on Titan. People did not give reasons for Vinland Saga much. A few people did, but way more people gave it for Attack on Titan. And we have to listen to arguments for Monster versus Death Note. Alright, let's hear Monster versus Death Note. Let's do it. Remix King says, Morj, just do it now. Name a price, man. To be fair, Pokemon had the most in-depth debate points. That's true. It did. You started off pretty hot there. I can't change it, man. It's too deep in the bracket. I can't change the names of these things. They're set in stone. There's no price. All right. I want you all to look at the comments you're putting very carefully here. The types of things you're putting are exactly the reason why Vinland Saga lost last time. You're saying... Monster is just better. Monster is better in every way. Give an argument. Monster does everything better than Death Note. If you don't give arguments, then Death Note's going to win as soon as people put actual arguments for Death Note. Buga says Monster is a plot that is rooted in real-world situations. That allows it to tackle more complex themes such as social inequality, political corruption, and the ethics of medical experimentation. All right? KK says the dynamic between Tenma and Johan keeps you gripped at all times as they're perfect foils. Monster is slower than Death Note, but the payoff is better. The second half of Death Note is weak. Alright, this is good stuff. Faust says Monster is way better. It teaches you nihilism. The chess game of Death Note was so bad after the L game. Alright, that's enough for me. I'm going to give it to Monster. We had some good arguments. We're not going to spend as much time waiting around from here on. Gantz versus Naruto. Let's see. Okay, Remix King, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this for you. Whoever is the final winner, I will put them up against Pokemon Adventures, and we'll see. All right. I wonder how many One Piece fans. Okay, Naruto takes it. Naruto takes it. All right. Because with One Piece and Naruto, it's one of those things where there's a lot of overlap in the like in the readership, but then there's a lot of hate towards Naruto as well. So it's like, I wonder if people will vote against Naruto just because they don't like it, or they'll vote for Naruto because that's the one that they've read. You know, Hunter x Hunter versus Kingdom. Let's see. Like Hunter x Hunter and One Piece, at least depending on like One Piece fans that are, I think there's a lot of overlap there as well. Yeah, but there's more respect between the two series. I think Hunter x Hunter versus Hunter x Hunter takes it. Like I think a lot of One Piece fans and Hunter x Hunter fans, a lot of One Piece fans that also like Hunter x Hunter really respect Hunter x Hunter, whereas a lot of One Piece fans that also read Naruto can still shit on Naruto because there's more of a rivalry there. I feel. Whereas One Piece and Hunter x Hunter, they're good at different things enough that it's like, I don't think that the rivalry aspect is as pronounced, you know? Hajime no Ippo versus Haikyuu, the sports manga, go at it. You like boxing or you like volleyball? Jolly D. Joestar says, this is basically deciding the smartest fandom. I mean, that's the goal, but sometimes they don't even try. So, okay, Hajime no Ippo takes it. Also, this isn't the best way to do it. You know what would be fun is a more debate format. I thought that this could be cool. Could be cool to see. It's hard to do with people just typing things in chat because then I got to filter a little bit of like, okay, what's really more a better art? Like, sometimes somebody's comment will be long, so I'll be fooled into thinking that it's something in depth, but then it just turns out to be something kind of generic. And I only have so much time to waste, right? So for me, it's like, if I got a solid 30 minutes to fully read out all the arguments between, you know, let's say Hunter x Hunter versus JoJo's, I could probably like put things on a like a chart or whatever. People are saying this, people are making these points, etc. Berserk takes it easy. You know, but we got what we got, which is rapid fire. All right. Finally, we were at the semifinals. Holy shit. Oh shit. No, not the semifinals. Quarterfinals. I got excited. Full Metal Alchemist versus Vagabond. Remix King says we need a Morj Unleashed, Morj versus Pokemon. You mean Morj versus you? This don't turn this into me versus Pokemon. I got nothing against Pokemon. This is, you are the villain in this situation. Full Metal versus Vagabond. But don't worry, I'm giving it to you. Whoever wins, they will be pitted against Pokemon Adventures. And oh shit, it seemed so close for a second. I mean, it seemed so much of a stomp for a second. This one's really tight. All right, let's see it. Full Metal Alchemist versus Vagabond. Let's see it. What are the arguments? Yeah, I think I would agree that a lot of people voting Full Metal Alchemist haven't read the Full Metal Alchemist manga. But if we're talking about that, I feel like a lot of people probably are the same with Hunter x Hunter. Or maybe they're just caught up on the current arc. Jolly D. Joestar says everyone vote for Pokemon for Remix King. Pokemon is probably going to win. Okay, let's read some arguments. All-powerful God Enel says Full Metal has a larger cast. All of these characters have an extreme amount of care put into them. But Chin Fang Zhu says Full Metal Alchemist is a massive flaw that not a lot of people talk about, where the slaughtering of people in obvious Middle Eastern country standing is hardly explored by any victims besides Scar. Isn't that a large part of it? Isn't Scar like a major character in it? I don't remember it as clearly. I know Jargle says the first half of Vagabond was far too lethargic, and the character writing borders on meandering, some interesting set pieces, but largely lost. Alright, at this point in time, Full Metal is clearly winning. Federico Armada says Full Metal has an ending which brings together all of the moral and metaphysical themes of the series in a concise manner. Vagabond doesn't. Mohamed Sadeghi says Full Metal has great philosophy, depicts the reality of the world and its ruling system and how harsh it is to go against it since it is loved by people. Okay. So I'm literally... Kunk Fuckley says Full Metal's manga is underrated. Arakawa really knows how to do panel layouts, and the trademark Full Metal comedy falls flat in the anime, works better in the manga. Vino with finally an argument for Vagabond. Vagabond explores the theme of purpose and place in the world with deeper themes than Full Metal. Okay. Guys, you can't just say lame works. You can't just say this is thematically rich, that's thematically rich. What? Details. Okay. So far, Full Metal is winning. Caleb Brown says, Vagabond takes a character in Musashi that thinks he knows what he... Okay, so I've heard this argument from you before, but that doesn't mean it doesn't still stand. I like that argument. Just a Guy says, Vagabond manages to be really deep and explore philosophical subjects really well, like what it means to be strong and mortality. It also is the best exploration of masculinity I've ever seen. Okay. Jolly D. Joestar says, Vagabond has a good plot, but the ending starts to mellow and just becomes appreciate life story, which gets boring. Beer Grease says Full Metal Alchemist is a beautiful epic about tyranny, death, and love. It explores themes of death and what to make of life. The characters are really well made. In Vagabond, old guy plays with a sword. Just some guy with a mustache says Full Metal discusses philosophy and morality and the struggles that the MC has to overcome to achieve his dreams are a fun ride. Hoop says Full Metal has a well thought out world building. As much as I like Vagabond, it's just Japan, from the nations to the power system, and the characters. Full Metal is leagues ahead, plus the ending brings everything together. Caleb Brown says Vagabond's art is so amazing that the writer doesn't even need dialogue to depict the themes of fights. Okay. I'm still hearing more Full Metal. I'm really giving Vagabond the benefit of the doubt, but there's very few points that are being made. Okay, I'm seeing some Vagabond points now, alright? Adam Marks says Vagabond has the best written coward in anime manga, juxtaposing his constant failures and degenerate misadventures with the honorable and lonely path to strength that Musashi goes on. Sir Fluffy says Vagabond is beautiful because it is so frustrating. It takes forever for Musashi to fully reform, and this slowness gives a realness to the feeling of wanting to change but feeling unable. Okay, I like that. Ultimately, I think I'm seeing more for Full Metal, but I think more people are putting more arguments forward that are fully fleshed out for Full Metal. The few arguments I'm seeing for Vagabond do make me think that it's probably a very interesting series that I think I would really like. Okay, but ultimately I can't deny, just factually, if I'm talking about fleshed out arguments, I'm seeing more for Full Metal. So we just have to. Anthony's Cruz says, did we just forget about One Piece? It's tricky because I think the arguments I saw for Vagabond made it sound like a more interesting series to me. So it's hard to say. But I saw more people put more effort into explaining Full Metal. It's just what it is. And again, yeah. I think Full Metal is very overrated for me. I've only seen the anime, so I don't know how good the manga is, but Full Metal is just a series. It's a series that I feel like doesn't really do anything bad or wrong, but it never reaches any particular highs to me. So I promise I'm not just pushing Full Metal to push it, but I'm being you guys heard me. I read out way more stuff for Full Metal at the end of the day than I did for Vagabond because more people were putting more in-depth arguments for Full Metal. Again, remember what I'm judging it on, which is it has to be arguments that provide reasons, right? You can't just say better themes, richer stories, stuff like that, right? Arguments that provide reasons. More people went with Full Metal for that. It's just what it is. Blame yourselves at the end of the day. But the stuff that was said about Vagabond does make it sound very interesting. I don't want to be here where we've got Full Metal all the way up here because I'm just not a big Full Metal fan. I like the series. I'm just not a huge fan of it. But, we got what we got. Attack on Titan versus Monster. It's funny that I think a lot of people don't like Attack on Titan, but it's made it so far. Put Pokemon versus One Piece at the end? Alright. Green Green Princess says Pokemon Adventures has an extremely vast world on par with that of One Piece. It changes perspective every few volumes, and you really get to see how big of an impact the world Red had in future volumes. I'm almost at a point where I'm taking Pokemon Adventures seriously. I'm almost there. Noah Kang says put Pokemon... Oh, no, we just said that. Put Pokemon against One Piece at the end. Alright. Alright, Monster versus Attack on Titan. Hurry up. Cloaksy says Attack on Titan gets you personally attached to our characters' struggles before fleshing out the rest of the world and shattering our black and white view. It is the manga that best demonstrates how the world is gray. That's a very good argument. Again, I'm not trying to nitpick any of these arguments as to whether I agree or not. I'm saying that, for me, not putting any of my own opinions out there, I think that it's a very well put argument. Bunfagum, on the other hand, says Attack on Titan justifies racism by forcing the victims of hatred to conform to the perceptions of the oppressors. The Titan curse should not have been uplifted but acknowledged as a reality of Eldians. Interesting point. Rishab Anand complaining about the seating. Not complaining, but you're commenting about the seating. The seating was randomized. It's not my fault. Mumbo says Monster's psychological, and not once have I hated something from it. Attack on Titan suffers from the same thing Game of Thrones suffers from, and its terrible ending. Aptatious P says Pokemon Adventures builds an expansive and sprawling world filled with powerful trainers that come and go as... I'm done talking about Pokemon. All-powerful God Enel says Monster's narrative is mature and focusing on the psyche of its characters, while Attack on Titan is plagued by childish idolization of its ideals, lessening the realism of its setting. Okay. Literally half of this at this point is about Pokemon Adventures. Alright, guys, get the stream likes at 300. A Reaver to everyone says Attack on Titan takes bigger themes while Monster goes into more personal ones. Cannot decide on that one more. God damn it. Alright. What's with this middle ground stuff? Both authors put near perfect stories together, the main difference being that Monster ties all its themes together with its great conclusion, while Attack on Titan loses its way in ideals. Alright. I think it's leaning a little bit Monster at the moment. Pakara says Monster not only goes into the worst the world has to offer, the beautiful thing about it is that it shows the beauty and humanity with Tenma as the catalyst for this theme. It talks about the abuse. The plot of Monster weaves together... This is Sorry Google. Sorry Google says the plot of Monster weaves together elements of psychological thriller, mystery, and political drama with a deep exploration of the characters' motivations and backstories. I'm going to give it to Monster at this point. I'm going to give it to Monster to move things along. Okay, Naruto versus Hunter x Hunter. Yeah, figured that would be... Alright. Alright, that's just Hunter x Hunter. And then Berserk versus Ippo. This will kind of tell me how many Ippo fans are really out there. I always felt like Ippo was more of a niche series, right? Yeah, Berserk kind of crushes it. Like, Ippo's popularity I just didn't realize was as high as it was. Is Ippo a seinen or a shonen series? Okay, Final Four. Final Four. Full Metal Alchemist versus Monster. These two were such controversial picks all the way throughout. Or tight picks, I guess, all the way throughout. But I feel like Full Metal barely beat Gintama, barely beat Vagabond, if I remember. Maybe Monster was more clear. Kung Fuckley says Hajime no Ippo's 30 fans reeling. Monster with its 65%, which means no discussion needed. Oh, no, it's getting close. It's getting close. No, it's at 60%. Vote monster. Vote monster. Please vote. Oh, god damn it. Oh, god damn it. You guys suck. All right. Let's do it. Monster versus Full Metal. Hurry it up. It was at 59%. 58%, sorry. God damn it. Caleb Brown says Monster is an amazing story in that it's similar to Pokemon Adventures with its awesome cast that's constantly changing and learning from their past mistakes, making it feel like a mature story. I have a feeling that that's not what Monster is. I just have a feeling that it's not similar to Pokemon Adventures. Someone's saying, what the fuck even is Monster? Yeah, I agree with Tony America. Full Metal Alchemist doesn't hit the highs that well while not doing anything technically wrong. That's just where I'm at with the series. It's a fun series. Ramen Stain says Monster Story made better by its setting. Its characters and themes are all backed in the scars on the landscape of Germany. Tenma being an outsider makes this even more emphasized. Sorry, Google says Monster Story asks difficult questions about the meaning of justice and the responsibility that comes with power. Tenma is a nuanced and complex character that struggles with his own morality as well. Jolly D. Joestar, on the other hand, says Monster is a convoluted story about catching a serial killer, which uses simple plot twist and makes it good, but doesn't manage to carry the story unlike Full Metal. Okay. Federico Armada also says Monster Story gets pretty contrived at moments, which pulls the realism away. Meanwhile, Full Metal is tightly structured so that all pieces set in the beginning naturally fall in their place towards the end. So I've seen Full Metal, and I would agree with that. I haven't read Monster, so I can't say anything about the critique of that. Just Some Guy Without a Mustache says Full Metal displays a great showcase of character versus self-conflict where the MC would commit taboos to achieve his goals, yet would condemn Sho Tucker for what he believes in. Wait, what? What? Okay. I literally forgot this character. I'm swinging more towards Full Metal at this point. Achintya Mitra says Monster's characterization of evil is so much more terrifying. But even then, there's hope and love to be found in the story in characters like Grimmer. Harsh says Monster, everything looks consistent and it's very easy to see what's going on. So we're talking about the paneling. With a lot of people, it's just talking. It's presented in a great way. A board burrito says Monster is a fantastic revolving cast of characters that grow with each arc and consistently deliver satisfying narratives to using that cast to explore human experiences. Ice Cream Gomez says Monster actually has some of the best teams in manga. Morj, please kiss me on the lips. I love you so much. Okay, we're not going to read the rest of this comment. And also add Pokemon Adventures to the chart. Thanks. All right. KK says the presence of Johan as an antagonist is larger than any other story. Even when not on screen, you're always wary of him. His depiction of nihilism. Okay, we're going to go with Monster at this point. Although Full Metal had some good points. We're going to go with Monster. There are some things that people are saying about Monster and stuff like that that do make me question if I would definitely enjoy it, because it sounds like whether or not the plot is actually satisfying or like well thought out or contrived, convoluted, whatever. I'm interested. Should I take my time to read that? I don't know. Okay, Berserk versus Hunter x Hunter. Hunter x Hunter versus Berserk. I'm actually so interested in this one. I'm very, very interested in this one. This could have been finals, right? Because it's just I don't know what the broader, I guess, your One Piece fan base, right, considers better. I think that there's more One Piece fans that like Hunter x Hunter, but Berserk is just held in such a high regard, right? So it looks like Berserk is edging it. Can it make to 60%? We're gonna give it till 200 votes. Nope. Looks like we got discussion. 59%. Can't quite do it. Looks like we're going to 60%. 60%. We don't have to discuss. No discussion needed. All right. Oh, okay. By the way, I like Hunter x Hunter better than Berserk, and I think that Hunter x Hunter is at a better place right now than where Berserk is at. Whoops. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. I tricked myself. Whoops. But that being said, uh, my desire to see the stream move along to the finals is higher. All right. I watched Berserk mow down two of my favorite series, Chainsaw Man, Hunter x Hunter. I didn't feel a thing. Let's get this to the finals. All right? Because Berserk is also one of my favorite series, of course. It's just that I do feel, for me personally, a lot of what I love the most about Berserk has steadily declined and shifted into something different, even if people claim it hasn't. I think that the change is very, very evident. Oh, whoops. Did I just do the poll again? Whoops. Hold on. Berserk versus Wano. Update on Wano video. That's why I said Wano, because Virgil Hawkins asked about it. 1 second. Berserk versus Monster. Let's get this poll going. Virgil Hawkins says, update on Wano video, plus what's the next video for Manga Morj, plus you should read Witch Hat Atelier. Its paneling is incredibly stylish, creative, and unique. I don't know about that one, but I'll think about it. Next video for Manga Morj, that's yet... there's a few ideas that are kind of being thrown around. Berserk is actually a topic of those ideas, so that's to be considered. And Berserk beats Monster clean. And Wano video, I'm going to be honest. The thing that I'm scared about the most right now is releasing that video. I just don't know what'll happen, guys. I don't know. It's not even that brutal. Like, the script is not even that brutal. It's just like, it's not... I don't know what'll happen. I don't know what'll happen. That's probably the biggest thing holding me back from I don't know what'll happen. You know? What happens to the channel? Are people going to be really okay with me just saying that I like really going through? Whoops. Yeah, me really going through Wano bit by bit. And I guess it would be the first analysis video I've ever done where it's not wholly positive about the arc, you know what I mean? And a lot of people do come to my channel to see things like Marineford, greatest manga arc ever, Enies Lobby, the peak of One Piece, videos like that, you know? Wano will be a very different flavor. That's just the reality of it. Kung Fuckley says, I think the raid still has a chance to fail. If it does, then I can probably safely state my opinion, but I think it's not gonna. All right, guys. We're gonna do this one more time, all right? The final vote. First, we're gonna do Berserk versus One Piece. And then we're going to do the winner of that versus Pokemon. It's a video that I know I'll put out, but I have such fear of putting it out. It's just the reality of it. Because, like, okay, let's say this. Oh, shit. All right. And that's a clean win for One Piece. And now it's finally going to be One Piece versus... you got it. This is for you, Remix King. You win. All right, and there's not going to be any discussion for this. Whoever wins the poll wins the poll. And it is Pokemon Adventures with a solid 51%. 5 seconds. And there you have it. Pokemon Adventures is the greatest manga of all time. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. I'm probably going to call the stream right about here and go get some food. We solved it. I like the stream idea. I think I'm going to do something like this again, but just with a more thought out structure as to how to compare things, because I always felt like polls are too boring. I tried to do the discussion method, but people weren't 100% on board. I mean, people tried, but like, I think it could have been more structured. It was my bad in terms of how I tried to get you guys to get involved with it. So there's something here. We're going to do something like this again at some point in the future with just some more structure involved so people can voice their thoughts more clearly and we can have a more fair back and forth of points. That's pretty much it. All right. All right, everybody. I'll talk to you guys later.